But apparently, so what I did was I haven't looked at it fully, but
Yeah.
we got a problem.
Problemo.
Okay, I'll pull it back. I do not.
It's like it's quiet. I'm just like, and then I just hear.
Hey, I think we're live, bro.
Oh,
Chill.
live. Yep.
Where
Hey, banter.
I haven't looked at it fully. Oh yeah, yeah. Can you hear that?
Yes. So we are on.
Yeah, they could hear all the free comments.
They could hear. Yeah.
Let me just welcome. Let me just real quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
So
gonna quickly.
just get back to what you were saying before. What were you?
I know. Well, it wasn't anything major. It was just welcome to our wait. Sorry, I'm typing in the YouTube comments. Welcome to our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 3. We have arrived. Let's go. Hey, we started from the bottom and now we're here. We're on the 3rd level. We're trying to build a tower out here. Welcome to our podcast live.
Yes.
Feel free to drop a comment. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here.
Yes.
Drop a comment.
Thank you for checking in, guys. As we just said, we made it to episode 3. So thank you guys for listening and tuning in. As you can see, I've got a microphone now, so hopefully you're hearing the difference.
Yes, sir.
Quality. If not,
there's something wrong with the speakers. If not, something wrong with the speakers.
It looks good. Like
if not, something wrong with the speakers.
I feel professional, like with this thing.
Your mind's here.
So week by week, hopefully, we can just keep building up the production value, and hopefully we get some more budget.
Hey, we're all about that budget life. Let's go.
Shout out City Reach.
Hey, shout out our pastors that control the budget.
You know where we at. So
yeah. It's not like we're hard to find. We're very close.
What's been happening? How's things on that side in Townsville?
Bruh, honestly, it's supposed to be getting
tropics.
Look, it is tropic at the moment. It's supposed to be getting cooler, but it's getting warmer, I reckon. I don't know if my thermometer's a bit off, but it's getting
transitioning into winter.
I feel like we're just transitioning into the same weather all the time. So it's nice and warm, a bit humid out here. Other than that, just chilling, doing a lot of recordings for church, which has been pretty dope. Some of the stuff you already know about, but we're going to launch our Indigenous service next week. So they had a meeting today with your mother and father. Yes. They prayed them in, and we're going to start recording that every week as well. We're doing the Veloos, Pastor Veloos. I don't know how to announce them both together, so I'm just going to say Pastor Veloos.
When does this Indigenous service start? Like, what time will it? Have they talked about what time it will be on? What day?
It's going to be on a Tuesday at anywhere between 5 and 7 p.m. I can tell you that.
Okay.
I've been recording.
Is that for everybody, or is that for Indigenous people? Or
everybody, bro. Everybody.
It's run by.
It's run by. It's like you know how we had Joyful Noise in a way. It's our. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, is it like
our Indigenous outreach kind of thing? Outreach. Yeah. So, other than that, it's pretty good. Hugh Broad scabbing off church Zoom account.
Yes.
Oh, I had to change the name. How did I change the name?
What?
Yes. Hugh Broad just put me out on. Said I'm scabbing off. Hey, look.
This is for the church.
Technically, this is the ministry, but he caught. Oh, what a. Woo. Yeah, that's good. All right, enough of me. What about you, bro? What's been happening before we get into this?
Been chilling. Getting coffee.
Always.
Getting coffee. What else have I been doing? Doing some more filming. Going to IKEA some more. So I'm trying to, get my room together.
Surely you're a VIP at IKEA now. Like they know you by name and whatnot.
Yeah, actually, I probably would be if I actually signed up and became a member. But I keep it keeps coming to that option. Are you a member? Do you want to become a member? I'm like, nah, I just want to pay for my stuff and get out of here. So I should probably become a member so I can, get some of those loyalty reward points or something. But that's another thing on my to-do list. But
Sure said. 10 times get a free account.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just been trying to get my room set up because I'm trying to get myself into a frame of mind that and just get to that point where I'm just like, okay, this is home now. Like Sydney is
that's
home for me at this point in time, because before that I was just in that kind of place of transition. Like I'm just here for a bit, and then I'm going to go over to Fiji, and then that's when I'm going to start working. That's when I'm going to start, getting back into the hustle. So I found myself, for a few months, just stuck in that kind of transition mind, and I was just like unproductive, not motivated.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna chill now and like wait
And then
until I get into I'll get into the when I transition into Fiji, like that's when I'm gonna start working. That's when I'm gonna start grinding. But I was just kind of sitting in transition, and Corona came up, and it kind of made it longer, and I'm just I'm just like doing me, and I'm just like sitting down. I'm like, I gotta do something with my life. I gotta do something. Like, I'm just waking. I'm like going to sleep late, waking up late. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I was just kind of hanging around, like I'm still on holiday, and that's kind of the mode I was still in, because I kind of went from holiday mode in December to January, and like I was in Fiji, and then I came to Sydney. I was like, okay, still in holiday mode, and then I'm gonna go back to Fiji and work. So like for a good few months,
stuck in that
kind of holiday mentality. So I was just like just chilling, not really being productive. And I was wanting to be productive, but it was hard to be productive because I still had that kind of holiday mode mindset. So so that's why I decided to like get stuff for my room, like make this room my own, go to IKEA, start moving stuff around just so I can get into that space of this is home. It's time for me to work. So it's
100%.
I've been having fun. I got a little low-key, little passion for interior design, so that might be my next, little venture. I don't know. We'll see.
All them IKEA trips, bro.
So I need to get some art in my room, and I'm looking at designing something on my own. So that. So just need some art. Need some shelves.
Yeah.
I know IKEA's got the hookup, so.
Hey, come on.
And there's IKEA showrooms. They're fire. Like I could walk around like all day. So much inspiration, and just like
it's a bit scary, but I feel like I walk into IKEA, I'll come out with like a whole new house. It's that good, the showrooms.
Yeah, honestly, you will. And actually, that's how I feel when I walk into like JD Sports or something like that. Bought some new shoes.
I think you got a problem. I think you got a problem with shoes.
That thing's popping back up again. I need
yeah.
But the way I justify it is like I don't spend much like on clothing or anything. Like if I buy clothes, they're like $3 black tees from Kmart.
But what do you spend all the money on shoes?
So instead, I'm just gonna spend money on shoes. But like
that's logical. That's logical. I see what you're saying.
Like,
I'm a sacrifice here, so I can maximize over here.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not buying an $80 t-shirt so I can buy it. But instead, I'll buy a $30 pair of shoes. Or so. I always buy shoes on sale, on special.
Yeah. You got
I haven't bought any shoes like on full price for like 5 years now. It's gotta get them deals, and like I just stock up. And sometimes like they turn out to be good gifts. Like if I got extra pair and I see it's someone's birthday with the same shoe size and I think they could rock it, boom, that's a birthday present. That's a gift. So,
cool. Well, I'm out here September 2nd.
Yeah, just my feet will just have to go a bit bigger, but for my feet.
Wow. Just keep looking for your boy. Hey, just look for them specials.
Hey, big feet, big socks.
Wow. Okay, they say about small feet, small socks. Child socks. Anyway, I like loafers, but whatever. Let's get into it. I think something that I thought was powerful, and then what happened off the back of it was even more powerful. We had Esme come and speak on Sunday. She spoke the Sunday morning service, and I don't know if people know that, but behind the scenes, a lot of things were happening behind the scenes. So we had a salvation, like people calling up, we got a salvation, other people calling up, they were crying because it's such a powerful message. You know, I think what's like on the back end of what she shared was the more powerful, you know, was obviously the salvation and people crying up and sharing their perspectives. I think that's fantastic. You know, it's not necessarily her like the story though. I think it's just the concept of forgiveness. I think is a huge thing, and it touches a lot of people because, you know, that's, I think when I was reflecting about it this week, I think forgiveness is something that if you don't get a hold of and you don't it doesn't become part of your lifestyle, I think it can really throw you off. You know what I mean? Like, can really just like it can hold you. I think not throw you off, but I think it can hold you back. You know what I mean? You get
it's something heavy. It's like a weight.
Yeah.
I can't, like, it's a burden really. Forgiveness, and you know,
it's like you know, it's like it makes you live like a bad life. Does that make sense? I don't know how to word it. It's just like unforgiveness is like
But if you could just talk about like how's it like affected, like have you had any run-ins with that, and have you
unforgiveness?
Yeah, and like as like maybe if you just give like a real topic, or maybe has it affected you in any way?
Yeah, I think
Come on. Yeah. Take your time.
No. I think my biggest one. I think I shared with you. Well, you were there actually. You were pretty much there the whole way when we did discipleship in 2017. I think my biggest forgiveness was I had to forgive my dad big time. You know, and it's just crazy how when I look at it and I look at when we're in discipleship and I look at, like, you know, when we're in that environment, how many things like our actions are based off of like something like as like small as unforgiveness towards someone, you know. And so I think the moment that I learned to forgive was like it's like a freedom that just, it's like I lost 20 kilos, you know what I mean? Like man's was light out there in the street. Like I was a new man out there, you know, and it's crazy. I look back at it like, man, all these years I carried all this unforgiveness, you know, and the moment that you choose to forgive, you know, it's like a process, you know, it happens, it unfolds. But like, it's like, man, like I look back and I'm like, man, I lived like that for like all that time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, it's like nasty, bro. It's like, you know, and it's powerful. It's not just, it doesn't, forgiveness, I think, it doesn't justify the actions or whatever, but it just says, look, you know, like I'm not going to carry that. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to let that go. I'm going to step more into, you know, what God has for me in the fullness of Christ. If that makes sense. Like,
the burden, God says for us to cast our burdens onto Him, and one less burden on us is, you know, as I said, you feel 20 kilos lighter. And
man's flying out here, cuz.
I'm sure you felt good, and I'm sure like a lot of things opened up. Like what type of doors did you notice? Like doors open up for you, things in your life that like changed.
Everything. Everything just comes more clearer, you know. And I think my biggest revelation was like, you know, I remember, you know, before back then, like I'll cut everyone off. You know what I mean? Like I just wouldn't forgive, and, you know, and also that's not the right thing to do. Like, how can you love God? Like, and it's so contradictory because, like, how could you love God but you'd cut someone off because, you know, they, you know, because you harboring unforgiveness. But when you learn to forgive, man, your whole life, it's weird. Your whole life changes. It's like a whole life change. Like it's a whole like I was living my life this way, but now it's just like it's like a whole 360. You know, so it's my biggest revelation out of it was like, you know, if Jesus came and He died on the cross for me, like how could I not love? Or how could I harbor unforgiveness? And I think, you know, when we, you know, as we link back to like Esme and her preaching, like you know, forgiveness is a big thing. Like it's a big thing, but the freedom that comes from it, you know what I mean? Like the enemy will always try and hold you in that place of like unforgiveness, always trying to hold you like in that place of like, you know, like low, like the enemy always trying to hold you down. But God's just like, you know, I want to bring you up, and I want to bring you to a place of peace, and I bring you to a place of freedom. And you know, it's a big battle. And you know, I listened to her preaching on Sunday, and I was very encouraged, you know, because it's you know, even now, you know, all the forgiveness I think every day we forgive, but there's always more. There's always more that we can forgive, more, freedom that we can step into, and I know personally, a lot of people that I've had to deal with and work with, they'll stay in that unforgiveness because it's comfortable. It's like it's the enemy puts them in that place where unforgiveness is comfortable for them. They'll stay in that that victim mentality because the enemy wants to keep them there, and it's comfortable and it's easy to stay unforgiven. But taking that step, I've seen people when they're forgiven, like they've just been healed like that. You know what I mean? Like people have had like sicknesses and stuff when they've chosen to let go of, like, because it's such a heavy burden. It's like a sickness. It's like it affects your health. And, when you choose
because it starts here and it affects parts of your life. It permeates kind of.
That's it. People got like ulcers and stuff in their stomach and stuff. That's like unforgiveness because you're holding in rage and you're holding in unforgiveness for someone. But when you choose to forgive, it's like a release. You know what I mean? And oh man, I'll tell you what. I heard the preaching. I was like, man, that's a message that, like, you may not relate to the particular story, but you can definitely relate to the principle, because the principle of forgiveness is huge. I think, you know what I mean. So,
and just for people, like, how did you get to that point of forgiveness? Like, how can you, I guess, like, how can you share that with someone? Like, how did you get to that point? And like, if you wanted to encourage someone to get that unforgiveness off them, what kind of
how did I get to that point?
Yeah, like, what kind of steps did you have to take, or is there steps, or like?
Oh, bro, I don't know. Like, thanks for the interview. Yeah, this was not scripted.
Hey, this is for the people. Like,
this is good
topic. And
I think for me, like, so we take when we're in discipleship, for example, and so I a lot of unforgiveness from my dad, right? Like, I didn't hate him, but I just didn't really like him at the same time. I don't know that, it's a bit of both. But
it's a strong word,
it's hate a strong word. So it's not I didn't hate him, but I didn't like him at the same time, and we didn't speak for like a couple of years. And I think when I was, especially, I think in discipleship, you're in a pressure cooker, so it's a different scenario. But basically, to me, it came down to this: like, I was living my life in a certain way, and like certain habits and certain things that I would do was stemming from like being like the unforgiveness that I carry for him. And I think one of the biggest things that I took to is, like, we had fantastic mentors down there, fantastic, covering. And one of the biggest revelations I took from them was, if I want to be like, to be a father, like when we did like that men's course and whatnot, to be a father, you have to be fathered. And that means you have to allow someone to father you. You know what I mean? And so we have like all these spiritual parents and whatnot, but you don't truly.
Shout out EDT.
Shout out EDT, yes.
Discipleship training, Melbourne, Southern Lights.
Pastor Peter Ingram. But to be fathered, like, to be a father, you need to be fathered, pretty much. And so you can have all the spiritual parents in the world, but like, unless you like clear that, not like that nocturnal, maternal, whatever it is, the natural.
Yes,
that relationship.
I don't know the wording that.
I know what the wording is.
I know what you mean.
Unless you clear that up, you'll never be able to be fathered, or eventually then be a father.
Be a good father. Father that God kind of ordained to be. Yeah.
And then again too, I think one day in prayer, like, if I was just like, God was like, man, if I bring you up here, and like, it's like, if you stand in front of God and like, man, have you done everything possible, like, to rectify these situations? Have you done it? And I was like, oh no. So I was pretty much. Then again, we're in discipleship, so it's like a pressure cooker. But a lot of those factors were like involved, and then I had to take a step. I think I didn't really take the step first. We did that men's course, when we did the men's course and we got the letters.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes. From our fathers?
Yeah, from our fathers.
Yeah.
I got one from your dad, and I got one from my dad. And remember,
were you expecting your dad to write?
No, not at all. I didn't even know we were gonna get letters. I didn't even know letters were gonna be sent.
But it would be like, did you expect that your dad would write something?
Nah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And so remember we got the axes, so I'm literally holding the letters and I'm holding my axe, and I ran to the kitchen on the other side of the camp, and I'm in there like a big baby, and I'm reading his letter. I'm holding the axe, and I'm reading his letter, and I'm crying, and I'm like, I think, yeah, pretty much, and I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm reading the letter, and I'm holding the axe,
thinking about that,
and just tears, like I'm a big baby, and like tears falling down my cheek, and I'm reading the letter, like he wrote me like. Little did I know that the pastoral team had reached out to him, and he wrote me a letter. Because I wrote him a letter first, and I said,
yes.
I don't know if I've told you about that process, but we had to write our fathers a letter. Yeah, and I wrote the first letter, and it was Pastor Peter. I remember clearly. I went to his office, and he had printed out the letter that I emailed him, and he said, he looked at me, and he goes, so I've read the letter. And I go, oh, fantastic. Like, great. We're going to send it.
It's good. Yeah.
He said, yeah, look, it's a good start. We're definitely going to start here. He's like, but we're not going to send this one. I just want to know, what message you're trying to send. Yeah. He said, this is definitely not going to go anywhere. So we pretty much threw that letter away.
What was that? What was the letter about? Like, what was the crux?
It was like, I was supposed to recognize like good things about him.
Oh, but see,
the thing is, and when you harbor this unforgiveness, you can't see good things. You can't see good things. And so as I'm learning to forgive, I'm like, no, actually, man, my dad is, look, he messed up like this 10%, but there's like a whole 90% that he didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm like, as I'm writing the second and third and fourth letter to finally get sent, I'm like, oh, he did teach me some good values. He did give me, you know what I mean? But I'm holding on to this 10%, and that's clouding my whole vision. You know what I mean? So eventually,
hey, that's a power. See that unforgiveness does, like, can cloud your vision, and it can cloud.
Yeah, like, and it makes you, and the enemy there, like when you're holding on to that 10%, the enemy is always speaking into you, like, like magnifying the 10%.
Magnifying that 10%.
Yeah, and so as we wrote, like I wrote 3 or 4 letters, and he kept checking them, and before we sent one off, and I was like, no, this 10% is like is. That's like a little tiny bit of the whole
90%.
90%. Yeah. He taught me some great things, and so and that's where as I was writing the letter, and it was all coming out. I think, and I was really seeing it for how God was seeing it, not how like I was seeing it, and the enemy wanted me to see it.
Oh, that's power. See through God's eyes, like the person that you're holding unforgiveness for. Like, how does God see them?
Yeah, 100. That's exactly. Yeah, you got to see it through God's eyes. Yeah. And so as I'm writing the letters, I'm like, okay, clearly now I can see, what's true and what's not true. And then we try and cloud you with all that. And so I sent off the letter. I thought the letter was just for me. So when I finally sent off the letter, I was in a good place. Like, I'd forgiven him. I rang him. I said, man, I love you. Like, and that's rare. Like, we're half, like, you're Fijian. I'm half Tongan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In our culture, we don't
say I love.
Like, say I love you. We don't physically, like, we don't say it. Yeah.
And it's weird because when we're in EDT, everyone's like, I love you. And it's like,
everyone's like,
I've never heard that in my life. Like, not that I haven't heard it, but like, because my mom's white, so like I hear it all the time. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Islander culture, like,
you don't hear it.
We don't say that. We're not very affectionate. Like, we're not we don't hugs and all that. But like the men, they work and they provide for the family. That's kind of them showing their love. Like, they work hard.
Yeah.
They provide things for us, and that's kind of
like the stereotype, and that's how we pretty much how it forms and goes. And so anyway, we sent off the letter. Anyway, I'm in the kitchen crying, got the axe, and because he sent me back a letter, and he just it was like it didn't say much. Like, honestly, it didn't say much because he's English, but
he fresh from Tonga.
He could say it over the phone probably better than he could write it out. But what was in the letter was enough. Like, it was just like it was at that point.
You could see the heart.
Yeah, you could see it was real. So I think from that moment, I'm in the kitchen, got the axe, reading the letters. It's tears coming down my face, like and it was in that moment. It kind of sealed it. Like, like I've let go. Like, I've let go of that 10%. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to hold on to it. And now I've forgiven you. And it's a freedom that comes with that. You know what I mean? It's like a peace, and it's like I said, you lose weight. And so from that, it's a lot of people, I think, like I hear a lot of people when I talk to them about, forgiveness and forgiving, it's like it's an injustice. Like, oh, like I need justice. No, you don't need justice. Like, God is your justice. You just need to. You're gonna continue to hold yourself back, and live that 10% when God's calling you to really see the whole picture here and live 100%. So, it's not about like saying anyone's right or wrong, but it's about saying, you know what, this has happened. Like I forgive you, and I'm choosing to move on. And a lot of things, positive come from forgiveness. So that was a great message on Sunday what she preached about.
You got some fire with that. Now I'm trying. I'm like, but I think well, for me, like on the topic of forgiveness, I think for me it hasn't so much been a person that I've like held unforgiveness for, but it's myself. And like forgiving myself, I think in situations and like especially with like public speaking, like speaking in front of people. Like one thing I held against, like I couldn't forgive myself. Like every time I'd speak in front of people, I'd always like I'd always, like I'm terrible at it. Even now, like that, and that's hence why the podcast. So I'm trying to get out of that. And actually, side note, as I was talking like on the last podcast, I realized like I always stuff up kind of like like when I'm going out to speak or speaking in front of a camera or like speaking in front of people, I'm always like kind of while I'm talking, I'm like my internal dialogue is like going crazy. It's like, oh, your voice sucks. Like I don't like the sound of your voice. And like I was thinking about it the other day, like after the other podcast, I was like, bro, like it was crazy because like every time, like that's why I can't like when I talk on a pod like in front of a camera or when I'm talking in public, like I can like put down all these points, have something to talk about, and like as soon as I get up to talk, it's all out the window. And I'm like I was just thinking about it the other week. I'm like, man, why do I suck so much?
Wow.
Why do I suck so much? And I'm like, it's because I'm trying to, and even now when I'm talking on this podcast, like I'm still trying to get over it, but doing this podcast has been really, I guess, helpful in that way. And like every time I've talked in front of people and I haven't stuck to my notes. Like I've talked on Sunday or like talking in front of people, like I've never stuck to my notes. I always kind of hold that kind of thing against myself in a way. And I held that kind of like, I guess that's my version of like unforgiveness. I guess like I always just like beat myself up or like I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just talk down on myself.
Yeah. So how are you counteracting that though?
But counteracting that is, I guess, just doing stuff like this, podcasting. Just keep. Like I think it just comes with like for me, I just need to practice it, and I just have to be okay with stuffing up and not talking so eloquently. And so this podcast has been it's been really really uncomfortable. At the moment I'm like nervous as heck, but I know through this and as I keep and like from episode 1 to episode 3 now, like it's getting better. Like that internal dialogue is starting to close up, I guess, in a way. Its voice is starting to become less and less, I guess, prevalent in my head. So it's been good. And I think that's, so, and it's just coming back to what you were saying before, just looking at myself in God's eyes. And I'm saying like I suck. I'm not forgiving myself for not sticking to my notes and talking well and speaking. I don't know.
I find it crazy that you have this like issue. Like I find it crazy that that's like your issue, because I've seen you like stand up and deliver like in church. Like for example, we'll talk about church. I've seen you stand up and deliver like some fire messages. I've seen you go up there and worship lead, and the presence of God just fall. And you seem so confident. So it's like
thanks. Thanks, bro. Nah, but like even though that's happening, and you said it before, like when you see that 10% and it gets magnified, like I'd make a little mistake and I'd magnify it, and then that little 10%, that little one mistake, I'm just like, oh, that was trash. Like I spoke trash, and so I'm I just after last podcast, I was just thinking on it, because I was like I had mad coffee and I feel like I stuffed up a lot Like I just wasn't. I was.
No, you were good.
Yeah, I like the coffee kind of jitters, and I was like, wasn't. I don't know. But that's just my internal dialogue. See, that's the dialogue. Just like, oh, you suck. Like, don't talk. Like,
you gotta keep smashing that. That's something that you are.
But yeah, but like doing this podcast and stuff. That's something that it's helping me smash that and just getting back to God and like God created my voice. So if I'm saying that my voice sucks, like I'm saying that God's creation sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like God made me like this. I'm like spitting on His like creation because like we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So getting back to that, just getting back to that truth, like that God created me. He created me the way I am. My voice is good, even though in my head I'm like, So I guess, so it's getting to that point of just like, not like hating myself in a way. That's a strong word. Hate's not strong, but just
hate strong word, yeah.
Hating on myself, like hating, like just being a hater on my own self.
Yeah.
I guess that's I didn't have anything to talk about unforgiveness, but then you're talking and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, that kind of ties in. That ties in, definitely. No, it's good, man. We're booming. So shout, podcasting, good times.
Podcast vibes. Let's go.
Good times. I'm drinking tea today, so I'm not as jiggy.
Man, what's your little bougie glass cup?
Yeah, this is a double wall cup.
I think I'm gonna go buy something.
This is a prototype, so you might see this on Amazon.
Oh, she doing cups?
Potentially, we've got heaps of like prototypes in the cupboard.
So send some up here.
She's like entrepreneurial, so she's got like all these ideas and prototypes and cool stuff. So
it'll be lit. Double walled bowls. I'm just saying, if she does that though, I want to say that I said that here on podcast.
They can eat like soup and they can hold it without it being. Actually, I've had that problem before. Like eating soup and I'm wanting to eat it. Like and have the soup bowl in my hand.
Yeah.
It's being too hot, and you have to get like a tea towel.
Boom. I'm just saying, I want 10%. I want my 10%.
I can see that. You know that.
I want my 10%. I'm coming to collect.
No.
Hey. No, but we did. Now we hit that. I think that was fantastic. But I want to move on a little bit because we're gonna keep the show rolling. We asked for some Q&A questions because we love answering. It's like we want to hear what the people want to talk about. And so we got one Q&A question. Oh no, we didn't. One of many. We got a lot, but one Q&A question.
Shout out to the
Hugh Broad.
So we're gonna keep anonymous. Okay.
Oh, sorry,
you
Mr. Anonymous.
Well, thank you for giving us content. Thank you for the many questions.
For the many questions that you had sent our way.
Actually, good. Like we got some content now.
Yeah, no, bro. Hugh Broad is holding us down.
Legend.
But Hugh Broad, plus there was a bunch of others. And one of the others we want to talk about is the judgment. Remember the judgment question?
Oh, that was posted on the Facebook page.
Yeah, that one.
You think you could read it out?
Yes. So, give me a sec. All right. So it says, what is the difference between righteous judgment in John 7:23 and the judgment Jesus talks about in Luke 6:37 and Matthew 7:1-2? How do I know if I'm giving judgment that will be measured back to me or judgment that is righteous? Remember that question I screenshot I sent you.
Indeed. Hey, I'm gonna What was the first scripture?
I sent you. You should have it. I'm just gonna weigh in on this.
You already have something? I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna flip this.
Well, I spoke to you know when they're like, I prepared this earlier. I spoke to the Big Eagle earlier. After work.
Hey, man's prepared. That's good.
That's it. You know, so I spoke to the Big Eagle, and he was saying basically along these lines. The judgment that gets measured back to you, right? The measurement that she first talked about. You know, if it's kind of like if you judge someone when you're trying to tear them down, like you tear someone, you judge them in a way that you're tearing them down, kind of thing. From this, is what I got from him. Basically, I think I got it right in my head. He was saying,
what do you think? We want to know what you think.
Well, when I read it,
you agree?
I agree. So basically, what he's saying was, which I agree, was it's the judgment gets measured back to you is the measurement that you give back, like that you obviously how you measure others. So like if you tear someone down, right? So if I judge you, I'm like, yo, look, you're trash, bro. Like your hair's trash. You know what I mean? Like if I judge you in a way that like I'm tearing you down, like I'm ridiculing you, like I'm you know, I'm doing bad things. I can't say the word. Degrade. Then that's the measurement that I get given back to me. And thing where, and that's the measurement where you get back. But righteous judgment is like where you're judging. It's not judging. It's like, oh, it is judging, but it's like it's in accordance to the word of God, though. So you're like assessing a situation or assessing something, but it's
but it's not a person because you're not judging. No, because we're not.
You can't judge people, but like the situation that people are in, you're assessing it by the word of God kind of thing. And something that said, which you brought up, which I thought was fantastic, was imagine if Jesus came and Jesus judged. Like Jesus obviously came, we'd all be dead. So Jesus came and loved and cared for people. But imagine if he came and judged, we'd all be dead.
Yeah, because we're not perfect and we fail all the time.
Yes, sir.
Mad epic fails.
So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, and I think I concur with that. With that judge it. Yeah, like it's you reap what you sow, and if you're gonna judge people like in a negative way, like people are gonna judge you back, and I think that's what the scriptures say anyway. Like, don't judge unless you be judged. So if you judge, like you're gonna get judged, and I'm trying to read this. With that second point, I think Jesus is just what was Jesus talking about? What was that? Is it 23?
So the first one is John 7:23.
No. So what did you say again?
Huh?
What did you say again about the second one? But yeah, the first, you got that first point, fire. But that second one about you know what? Should we just carry on?
Carry on. I think I was good, and then you just
I don't know where. Sorry, I just killed the we'll just keep. I concur about everything you said. Fire. All
right. All right, and then we got some other questions from Anonymous. You want to fire some out?
HB. Yes. So first question. Oh, dream car and why?
Any Lamborghini, because they're lit.
I want a BMW M4 competition. Why? What did you say? Your why?
Yeah, I said why? Because they're lit.
Okay.
Hey, I got a question.
My why is because it's about the chase. Like I want that chase to get to that car. So I don't know if we'll see. We'll get there, but it's all about the chase for me. And then I'll have another goal after that. Giving myself 3 years. So
one of the good questions. I think it's a good question. Yeah, if there's one thing you wish you knew before coming into 2020, what would it be?
If I wish I did something, if I did something.
One thing, if you wish you knew one thing before coming to 2020, what would it be?
I don't know. What toilet paper? Stock up on toilet paper? I've got no idea.
Yeah, stock up toilet paper. That's a good question. That's a good answer.
Yeah, anything real?
I'm not gonna lie though. We're talking about toilet paper. Why, out of all things, why do people stock up on toilet paper?
I've got no idea actually. We could just go Euro style and use the water.
Bro, that's what I said. I said, look, if it gets worse to worse, just get your kids out there, get the hose, psh, you know what I mean? Hop in the shower,
because actually in Europe they've got special taps and for that for cleaning your behind. And
that's right.
I thought it was a second sink. Honestly, I thought I was in Italy, and I was like, oh, we got two sinks, and then I did some Google research. I was like my dumb self. I Googled. I was like, why in Italy? Why do they have two sinks? That's legit what I wrote.
We're gonna find out today.
Question mark. And then I started reading some stuff, and it's for cleaning your behind. And I feel like it's more sanitary. I tried it. It was weird. I just tried. It wasn't that bad. It was weird. It was different.
Yeah.
But yeah. When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
That's right.
But and see, if we run out of toilet paper, yeah, I'm experiencing it, so I don't mind getting back to getting back to basics.
There's a lot to wash.
And there's lots of water, so we got unlimited water, not unlimited toilet paper. So
yeah, imagine if we had no toilet paper and we're on water restrictions. Oh.
Let's just next question, please.
All right, next question is, man, I want to end on a good question.
There's lots of good questions.
Okay. What would you invest in now? We'll finish on this one because we talked about this earlier. What would you invest in now to make money for when Corona ends? I'm gonna start it off with silver.
I haven't thought about that far, but yeah, I heard silver was the thing.
I get some of my investment advice from TikTok. I'm just saying. Yeah. So the things that
I might have to jump on TikTok. Damn.
Yo, yeah. I'll tell you. So I scroll through and some of the investment things that they pull out is like, I'm like, oh, that looks really nice. No, but I've been watching some. I've been watching and I've been reading. So silver, I don't know gold, but silver is definitely something to invest in. I know we have a friend. She invests in silver, which I need to get on the phone and call her before I start buying up some silver. Before I get silver things delivered to the house that weigh like 20 kilos. But yeah, I think definitely silver. I don't know.
Silver? What was the pitch like?
It's stable.
Okay.
Stability. So I don't know anything else.
Like its value. The value.
Yeah, like it's like the value, like the way it goes. I think also like I'm new to investing, so I'm just like, I'm getting into.
Yeah, I'm pretty green as well.
Yeah.
How about cryptocurrency? What do you think about that?
I'm not sure. No idea. No. All I know is if you would have bought Bitcoin in like 2003,
yeah,
you'd be like a millionaire or billionaire by now.
I'm saying, yeah. So if you are good at investing, please DM us because
we'd love to have you on.
We obviously need help.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not the only ones. I'm sure a lot of people would need help with like investments.
Yeah.
Hey, our future guests, come on.
Come on, we need some future investment advice.
But apparently the house prices are going to be good after Corona, so maybe I was thinking of just like saving my pennies and
buy a house.
Yeah,
that's a good idea actually. I was looking online the other night about like all the first home buyer grants and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like saving amounts for loans and whatnot. I was like, oh, it's pretty doable.
So yeah,
but
I think the only investment I'm going to be doing is just investing in my saving. And
big time. Other than investing in myself in this Corona period, yeah.
Also, actually, what have you been doing investing into yourself wise? Got any?
Yeah, I've been trying to exercise, trying to get that back in and forming that lifestyle. But I've always been trying to read books. I never.
Yeah.
Like I'd read.
What have you actually? What's
I've been reading books. I'm reading books. Okay. I've been reading books. Yeah.
There's a difference between trying and doing.
Yeah, no. So obviously, I do my little thing. But yeah, I'm trying to read. Not trying to read. I've been reading books. One of the books that I started back in discipleship, which I haven't picked up until now, was the Dietrich Bonhoeffer book. So I started that again, which is going well, slow but well.
Yeah, how's it going? Like, what's it about?
You know the Bonhoeffer book, Dietrich Bonhoeffer?
Nope. I know of him, but like this book, hey, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to see.
Well, I just started the book. I got it 2 years ago, and I started. I'm on chapter.
So what's happening in the first chapter? What's happening in the second? What's been happening in the first introduction?
It's Bonhoeffer. The. Hey, I'm gonna start it. I just started. Okay. Okay, tell me what you've been doing. Actually, I'll tell you what I did read. I'll tell you what I did read though. Before I picked up this Bonhoeffer book, was a Radical Church. I think it's called Radical Church.
Hey, you gotta know the title if you're reading it.
I gotta find it. Sam Smith. You remember Sam Smith? Pastor Simon's son.
Exposed.
From Brisbane.
Yeah.
I read that. Yeah. So he sent me that book ages ago, and I read it, but then it was in my book pile, and I was like, I read it again. It's all about like like the idea of church and like radical, like what does it look like if it's radicalized kind of thing.
Crazy.
So I read through that, which was pretty cool, and like make it like how they compare like mega churches, like you know, like how they talk about like mega churches and like small churches and like radicalizing, and it's a good book.
What was the takeaway? What was the takeaway? What was your takeaway from the book?
Look, Jesus was radical, you know, in many facets, and so it's just about finding those facets for us to be radical.
Okay. Oh, whoa, what is that? Sorry. I haven't been reading books.
I've been trying to read books.
I'm not much of a book reader.
I'm trying to be a book reader. Just give me some grace in this book area.
Booking that. I've just been, you know, the usual. Well, I'm just trying to be like taking more photos, making more videos, designing more things. So just trying to hone those crafts so I can be more marketable, I guess. What else have I been doing? Actually, yeah, I've been on that weight loss journey as well. So I've got a friend of mine to keep me accountable. So I got a food diary. I got weigh-ins every morning. I just got to check in with my boy. So, and it's good. He's good. So he's very truthful, and it helps me through. Tells me how it is, and so accountability's been good. So it's been helping me watch what I eat, and it's been helping me exercise, like seeing those numbers, and it's also encouraging, I guess, to, you know, write some things down for the day. Like it's because all I've got is like kind of do 1 hour walk or like form of exercise every day, and weigh myself in, and like just ticking those things.
Yeah,
gives me a sense of like accomplishment, and it's been ebbing me on to keep going. So that's been good. So actually, yeah, writing things down. I really like kind of dropped off on that area, because I used to write things down
all the time,
all the time, and kind of tick it off, and I kind of fell off, and now doing it again, I'm just like, damn, yeah, just you get that sense of accomplishment, and it helps you be more productive. So into that, so I've just kind of been writing stuff, like things I want to get done in the day, and you know, it feels good to get a little tick in the box, and you become more productive, and I think it's good to be more productive. That's what I've been doing. Apart from drinking coffee and going go support small businesses. So
support local.
We've got these two local businesses that like two guys from church run. So supporting the fam.
That's good. That's really good. Well, I think that's about it. Tonight, is there anything else you want to bring up?
Should we touch on Dad's preaching? Should we finish on that?
Yeah, let's finish on that.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah, you can open that up.
Because I think he's just. Oh, I wrote down my notes, but I lost it. He's continuing on that topic of
same, yeah.
That same topic. I don't know where.
I'm pretty sure this is a 2-part. I think this covenant healing is a 2-part. So this is. I think we got part
a different
1.
Topic. Is this a new? It's the same.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like the culmination of everything he spoke about.
Okay, so.
But I think he only did part 1 on Sunday.
Yeah. Actually, I don't really have anything what to say about it, actually. I just said.
Well, you're the one that want to talk about it. So.
Yeah. I don't really want to. What I was trying to get at is like, I just want to encourage everyone to watch those and watch those messages, and it's all on the Facebook page. Save there. Just want to encourage everyone to check out those messages. Check out the Esme's message from last week. As you saw, the Sam shared, like, a super powerful message, and I think it's something that everyone needs to hear. I think because we can all get into that mode of unforgiveness. Like everyone gets hurt. Everyone gets hurt by something, or someone rubs you the wrong way. You know, that's always going to happen. So, and I think that forgiveness message is really powerful, because it can start off with something little, and then it kind of turns into a big thing. So
people build walls all the time. You know, and what's that thing we talk about when you annoy someone? What's that word? You know, like you build up a wall of
what's that?
Not unforgiveness, it's something else.
Resentment.
something like that.
Resentment?
Nah,
Like,
not resentment.
I know you build it up and it turns into resentment.
Yeah. But anyway, look, like off the back of what Labour said, yeah, encourage you, please check out, if you're tuning in, check out our Facebook page, check out our Sunday messages. They're definitely a word for this season, and Pastor Piney's message, he's been preaching for 7 weeks or 7 points for 6 weeks.
What was it supposed to be like? It's supposed to be like,
I think it's a 2, and then now we're at like 6 weeks in, 7 points deep.
Yeah.
But it's such a word for this season, because a lot of people are scared about the coronavirus. They're scared about the circumstances, and whether it be coronavirus or whether it be when we go back to normal, and you got to face, you got to step in the face of anxiety, you got to step in the face of fear, you got to step in the face of something big. This is definitely the word for you, because it's all about knowing the word of God, meditating on the word of God, and applying the word of God, and like that's pretty much the Christian walk is learning, meditating, and firing it back out. And so there should be no fear in your environment. Coronavirus is it's out there, but in your environment, everywhere you walk, it should be like you should be confident. You should be like you're and you should know the word of God to speak out against any fear, anxiety that comes up, and especially this. And a lot of people, the other flip point to that was knowing the word of God is, he talked about how it's your medicine.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have these illnesses and whatnot, and the word of God is there to be medicine. Like got a headache, you know what I mean? You don't need the Panadol, you just need to speak the word of God, kind of thing. And that's kind of where he was going with that. Coronavirus it's a disease, but you have the disease killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, let's, you know what I mean? So you gotta pack up your little disease killer and start shooting it out at the coronavirus. And then it kept going, and then the whole series just is going from that, because it started with people like, coronavirus is a God's thing for us.
It's God's doing.
That's not God's, and that's what his first message was it's God's will is to heal, it's not to kill us and take us out. So why would Jesus die on the cross if we're just gonna all die from coronavirus? So
amen.
But
that's and it's a message for, like, even after coronavirus, like, we're as humans, we're still going to go through anxiety. We're going to have fears about things.
Yeah.
And it's good just getting back to those 3 principles and, like, really look at those 3 principles, like spending time with God, meditating on the word, at doing that in your life. Like, it's really a simple gospel. Like, the gospel is really simple. Like, I feel like we overcomplicate it with like this and all this stuff, but all we have to do is just spend time with God,
Yeah.
And just do it. Be Jesus' hands and feet, and just be obedient.
I think that's where the religiousness comes in, because everyone makes salvation harder than it is.
Yeah.
Everyone makes a relationship with Jesus like harder than it is. Like that's where the religious comes in. Like, you got to do all these things. You got to earn it. You don't even have to earn it. You just got to step into it. You know what I mean? You just got to accept it, believe it, and walk into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I have to run around the block. Imagine if I had to run up Castle Hill 30 times to have a relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, you see this body, bro. I ain't
going
to heaven. I'll be
backslidden, cause I'll be out there backsliding. Can you imagine that, though? But that's the world, but we try to make things difficult than it is. It's not, The word of God isn't complicated. It is what it is. It says what it says, I'm healed, done.
But we just have to get to that same mind where we look at the truth and we believe it.
Yeah.
And we outwork it. Like, we walk in that truth. We walk in that place of salvation, and walk in that place of sonship, and where we know that we're loved by God, and that we are sons and daughters, and that we have inheritance.
That's right. But it's a growth thing too. You got to grow into it. Don't forget, our pastors, they're at this level, obviously, but they've been out there they've been in this Christian walk for 100 years now.
Say the streets, yeah.
Yeah, streets. But they've been out there in this Christian walk for 50 years. Like they're on the long end of their Christian walk. So obviously, as the years tick by and the months go, and their faith levels are building, the things they've had to go through, and they've built, they've planted 2 churches now, all the things that come with that, just build their faith. It builds their, resolve in Christ. So obviously they're up here. And so I think, also our encouragement is, don't, like, if you're a new Christian, or, you're stepping into these things, is don't be like, don't think the aim should be to strive to be where, like, people like our pastors are, and like all the big people in faith. That's definitely where we need to strive. but you just got to take it. You got to build it. It's a building process. Like you got to grow into it. It's not like I got saved today and tomorrow I've got like faith, like the big eagle. No, don't work like that. You got to build. You got to grow, and don't feel like like I want to be here, but then I slip a little bit. No. Just keep pushing, keep grinding, keep doing the pattern to get you up. Don't feel like you have to be up here and perfect. No, you got to grow into it. And you got to work. It's not a overnight thing.
Yeah.
If it was, everyone would be a Christian.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, if it was like that, would all be like
the whole world be saved if it was that easy. So
well, there's encouragement. And you just gotta take it step by step.
Yep. Day by day, and it's just consistency. Mm-hmm.
And it's like with any relationship, you have to be consistent in that relationship. You have to be consistently talking to you, messaging you, say hi. Like if we talk, if I just met you and we talked once every 2 years, like we're not gonna have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And I think this whole journey with walking with God is relationship, and it's just building that relationship with God, and it just has to be consistent with any other relationship we have. You just have to be friends. Like me and Sam, we talk all the time. We talk we talk pretty much every day, don't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Honestly. So and that's
like text, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like the type of relationship we have to strive to have with God, and I think, and you don't have to like put like I guess. I feel like a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to go like, I have to read the Bible, I have to pray, I have to spend time. Like you should just be kind of like I'm hanging out with my father, I'm hanging out with a friend.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's like when you're building a friendship, right?
Yeah.
It's like like you want to do those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I read the Bible and I'm praying and stuff, it's not because like I feel obligated.
Yeah.
It comes from a place of like I want to. Like it's like, man, like I want to, you know what I mean? So like, and I find it now like it's weird. When I'm driving, right? Like I'm driving, even if I'm driving by myself, it's the prayer comes, I just randomly start praying in tongues. It's weird. It's just the overflow because you want, you know what I mean? Like you want it. Yeah. It's not like I'm driving my car. I'm like, oh, I haven't prayed yet, so I might just, you know what I mean? It's just it's just an overflow, and I think as you, as you learn more of the word, I think it comes from like just reading the Bible. Like as you know more of the word, I think that creates a hunger for the other things of God, like the praying, the relationship, and stuff like that. Because I think there's people that like have been like I see from what I see is like there's people that have been like so hurt at the very rock bottom, and then they get saved, and then they just there's immediate hunger. But then there's people that have just like could be like what's the word, like not naive, but they're like they're just cautious about this whole Christian thing, and then they come, and then something might hit them, and then they get saved, and then they get saved, but then there's just that initial hunger from that that turning point. So it's like you have to build it, and I think from knowing the word of God and knowing what the word says, I think that builds an excitement, and excitement builds hunger, and that's what will. If that makes sense, I hope not.
So I guess you said it's just taking that first step, I guess.
Definitely.
Just saying yes, picking up that Bible. Actually, but yeah, and I think there is a bit of like a grind aspect to it, like picking up the Bible and reading it, because it's like a physical thing. You have to do it,
Yeah.
And I'm not much of a reader, like so. The Bible is probably the only thing I read. It's literally the only thing I read.
Like I said, I've been trying to read other books.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, man.
Yeah.
But
I think you gotta find what works for you, because there's no set in stone way to spend time with God, to read the Bible. Like you got audio books.
Yeah.
You can listen to the Bible through audio books.
Yeah, I'm saying, and like I don't think, and I think people put pressure on like, I'm gonna be up at like 2 a.m. You know what I mean? Like for me, I've noticed it's different times every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some mornings I'll be up at 5, 6. Some mornings I'm not. Some
Yeah.
I'll be up late and I'll, be like 11 at night and I'm like, all right, here's, like an hour, you know what I mean? Like 2 hour, whatever. I think people put so much pressure on, when when you're building this relationship, it's like, we have to do it like at a certain time. It has to be a certain procedure here. But there's not, you have the elements.
There's some seasons you go through where you like that you have that structure, or like you feel like, I want to give this amount of time to God at this time every day. Like there's nothing wrong with structure, but
no, there's nothing wrong with structure. But
but not to get
when you feel like you have to have that, like that.
Yeah.
Because the elements are, the time with God, the Word of God. That's the elements. Yeah. How you put that together in your relationship. That's up to you. There's no like, this is how you have to do exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's how you you feel.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different, and you're gonna spend time with God in different ways. But as long as you're doing it, as long as you're spending some time, like you can't.
As long as there's time.
And that's like with any relationship. Like you got to spend time, and you have to put time in to build a good relationship and to build trust. Like I trust you with my life, but I didn't just meet you and like, okay, I trust you in my life. No, we've been friends for
for a while now.
5-6 years now.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a long time.
So a long time, and through that relationship, I'm able to say that I can put my life in your hands. Actually, I'm a little bit nervous, about that.
But throwing back how we just talked about before, like we're talking all the time, like every day.
Yeah.
So we'll text each other, once a day, twice a day, whatever. Like we're always in communication. But
random stuff.
It was never at that. It was never It was never always at that point where we're talking every day. You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean. Like in a relationship, you got to start somewhere, and and it's a progression. You got to build. You know what I mean? So, and then each like there's stages. Like we're at that stage now. Laban said, "I trust you with my life. I trust Laban with my life." And it's the same with Christ. You got to start here, and then there's stages. God, I'll give you this.
We didn't get to this point straight away.
You got to build it. You trust. You got to grind. Like it's you got to go through it.
Like that first time we met, like you had to come and say hi to me. Like starts with that first interaction, say hello. And hey
bro, you want to do an assignment together?
You want to do an assignment together? Yeah.
Yes, and then he rode off into the darkness. It was night, and it is what it is. And then from there, here we are.
Still with God, you gotta at least holler at them once. You gotta start from there.
Just say what's up, God, and then like that man, Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, too much.
I don't know how we got here, but
I think we were leaving, and then we just kept, which I think it's good because we still got 2 people watching. So,
hey, shout out, love you guys.
Other than that, though, I think I just want to encourage you, please, share our stuff. DM us if you have any questions.
Please give us some questions. Thanks for. We'll probably answer. So I'm just gonna say Hugh's questions. We'll probably answer some of your questions later on. There's a lot of questions. Thank you.
There's a lot of questions. Yeah, thank you.
But hopefully we can get some more questions from people.
Yeah, the judgment question was good. So stuff like that. There's a lot of things we can. Give us questions. We want to talk about the things that you guys want to hear about. And look, we're happy to keep it anonymous too. I will make sure we keep it anonymous. But we want to hear from you guys what you guys want us to talk about. This is like the people's podcast.
It's for the people.
Hopefully, we want to get better on our side, and then hopefully in a couple more episodes we'll have some more people tuning in and stuff like that. But hopefully, you can take something away from it. Like us on Instagram, Vibe Check Podcast, _ Vibe Check Podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Vibe Check Podcast. We'll link pretty much everything over to the church Facebook page, Sea Reach Church, Townsville.
Well, once again, thank you for checking in to Vibe Check.
Vibe Check.
We'll catch you guys next week at episode 4. Peace.